Well, day two. Well, I guess multiple days, but day two in game. I'm ready. I'm really excited to keep going back into this. Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing fine. Just been a normal day, as you'd expect, and just keeping up on things.
The fan stands still.
And let me check on some things. So I remember I put a point into visual calculus and conceptualization. Did I have anything else that I had that was important? I had the frit bag. All this stuff. Esprit de corps, reaction speed, physical instrument. Okay. Yeah, nothing else really important. Oh, that's right. I haven't interacted with this because yeah.
The Greatest Innocence by João Paulo Salomão Lopes de Fuego. The book is large and heavy. Browsing through the various chapters, you try your best to understand the ceaseless overflow, the sprawl of names, dates, places, events historical. Most of it ends up as a twisted mass of facts inside your brain.
Oh, yeah, the kind where it's like, no introduction, man. You get nothing but facts and history.
Your educational survey is done. Did you catch any of that? No. Oh well, it's pop quiz time. Let's see what you've learned. This might take a few minutes. You ready?
Oh, God, no, let me out of here. Sure, why not? Do I have any major time obligations? That's not the right thing. That's the right thing. Sing karaoke, inspect body. Did I equip the volumetric shit compressor? I did. I did equip that. Who made the call? Get a reality lowdown. Okay. Pissing competition. Clothes in the oh, so Kuno could know. Interesting. May take a while. Secret. Oh yeah, the secret passage behind the kitchen. The only timed thing is paying for the room and going to the smoker's apartment, but that's like super late in the day. So, yeah, I guess I can, yeah. That'll be nice. All right. Okay, and for the map, what are some... I could try to knock out Measurehead again, but I don't think that's gonna work. There's the sleeping doctor, dock worker. What other ones? Trash container? What? Huh. There's Joyce. Sileng. Who was Sileng? I don't remember who Sileng was. But, yeah, it looks like everything is in order, as it should be. But yeah, if I don't have any major time events going on, sure, why not?
That's the spirit. Here we go. Question 1. Who was the first Innocence? Dolores Day.
Dolores Day?
Incorrect. Dolores Day was the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. She codified parliamentary democracy and created modern institutions. Among these, the moral intern, she was powerful and beautiful on all her icons. Her colors are silver, white, and apricot. And when you think her name, Dolores, stomach acid rises to the back of your throat, and it hurts. You see a flash silver, a wreath, an airport bag, and blonde hair. You don't know why. Another choice, perhaps? Steer clear of this one. There's something terrible about this one.
What?
A strange sensation of loss. When
Oh.
she left the earth, the dust, and the ice, and the humans. That is unimportant to the quiz. Stop thinking about this. Yes, the quiz is impersonal. No need to rouse sensations in yourself at the mention of Dolores Day. Who was the first innocence? It wasn't Dolores Day.
You know, I didn't really absorb anything from what I just read.
Then go with your best guess. Isn't that what students are trained to do when they don't know the answer?
I don't think listen, I'm guilty of guesswork sometimes, and sometimes my guesswork is good, but I don't guesswork very well when it comes to fictitious bullshit. The Pericarnasian? Or the Sola?
Correct.
Ah.
Nothing much is known about him. It's not even clear that he was a he, but Franco Negro presumed as such and called him Pius. He's depicted as a young man with molten gold pouring out of his mouth. All he spoke was gold. It's said he invented God and equality of men before God. He also introduced the gold standard as a way for measuring people's love for Aurum.
Aurum?
As the first innocence, he declared that there should be more of those like him. It is presumed his disciples were the beginning of the Holy Party, the founding party.
So this is like politics mixed with a religious focus? That's odd.
Question 2. Who was the strongest innocence? Easy. Everybody knows the answer to this. You, me, anybody.
Doesn't sound too familiar. Shoot me a hint.
An innocence is the highest category of historical personage in the world. A literal personification of history.
Oh.
Traditionally, an innocence, when anointed, assumes supreme rule over the Occident or the known world in general. At least the parts that matter.
So an innocence is supposed to represent a part of history? Okay, well, kind of like how we title decades, I guess, or some parts of the world. Okay, very interesting, but that doesn't help me answer the question.
I can do better. Okay, so commonly an innocence does not enforce his or her power through military power. This is seen as unnecessary. The innocence wins because an innocence can't help but win, for their deeds are inevitabilities. Did this help?
So it's like an innocence itself is an embodiment of the best and worst traits of a specific era of history and happens because it simply is. No.
Damn, Dolores.
It's not Dolores it's not Dolores pain threshold. Shut up. I'm not having that happen again. Vesper Messina?
Incorrect. Vespa Messina is not a person, but a defunct state on the southeastern coast of the Occident. It used to take up most of the peninsula before separating into the republics of Vespa and Messina. Care to try again?
To think I'm getting a lot of this world building out of just one book.
Correct. Named the innocence of militarism.
Wait.
He codified hereditary rule, but
Franco
at
Negro.
the same time ended serfdom and established
Wait,
the
isn't that...
Inter-Isolari Real as the global reserve currency. He also established the concept of the nation.
So this guy is supposedly the one that established the rules, so to speak. Isn't he also the author of the book? Isn't that person also the author? Quiz is impersonal. Yeah, looks like it was the author. So an author depicting events and things as... An author personifying parts of events as people. So it's kind of like mythology mixed with world history, but on a literal scale. What?
Franco Negro attempted to solve the rising tensions between the aristocracy and bourgeoisie by building a unified society in which every man has a place and a mission. But at the same time, may rise to nobility, provided on the strength of his virtue.
So, essentially an equalism thing.
Question 3. Who was the false innocence?
All news to me, so maybe a few hints?
Yes, there exists a group called the Founding Party, known as the Holy Party, during the time of the Pericarnassian.
Canossian, okay.
The world's oldest international organization, spends its time in search of either the re-emergence of the innocents or new members.
Sight internally.
There seems to be a mix-up with the sources. It's not my fault.
Your encyclopedia, it is your fault.
At least it clearly wasn't Dolores Day. She wouldn't be false. She's beautiful.
Pain threshold, shut up. Stepan the Despicable.
Incorrect. Stepan the Despicable, regent of Kedra, was a ruler who conquered the known world during the Kedriatic conquest, instead of the despotic Erno Pasternak. Would you try again?
Kendra?
Incorrect. Kedra is a large
Kedra,
nation
not
in the
Kendra. Why do I think there was an N
mid-northern
there?
area of the Mawindi Isola, north of the Occident, between the Ilmarin mountain range and the Pacific Mare Interregnum. Care to try again?
Erno Pasternak.
Correct. There have been a number of counter or false innocences, some assumed to have innocentic qualities, some who just thought so themselves. Occasionally, they have the support of a faction inside the ecclesiastic organization, and accusations of foul play have arisen. The most famous and important of these was Erno Pasternak. He was into torture, despotism, hymns, cannons, and world conquest, but got defeated and humiliated by Stepan the Despicable of Kedra. Final stretch. You've come so far and learned so much. This is the most important one. Question 4. Who was the greatest innocence? The most important of them all. The most precious to humankind.
Franco Negro?
Incorrect. While Franco Negro built concrete churches and cathedrals, and while many people, especially the Mesk, consider him a father figure, due to his militarism and nationalism, João Paulo Salomão Lopes de Fuego argues differently. Another choice, perhaps?
I guess Dolores Day.
Correct. The Mesk might see Franco Negro as the father of nations, but as of this century, there's been a great shift in attitude. Dolores Day has become widely regarded as the greatest innocence. A most radical change to the whole fabric of the world. Everything from inter-isolary travel to the connected world to 3 consecutive scientific revolutions can be traced back to her.
Okay,
Every
so
decade that passes,
Dolores
she
Day seems
seems
like
less
the
human
innocence of
somehow,
progress.
and more beautiful. Congratulations on finishing the test. The results and your subsequent grade have been calculated.
I get a fucking
You get
fail.
a D. Not particularly remarkable, but technically a passing grade. Not that anyone really expected better.
Well, you pop quizzed me, you stupid book.
You would have done better if you just left Dolores Day for the end. Dial the Dolores Day down a bit.
Damn you, you arrogant book.
You are shouting at an inanimate object, like a real weirdo. No wonder you seem to have trouble with the right answers.
Man, something's weird about this book. You should do something fun instead. Rock out. Forget about it.
I love this tie. Put the book away. All right, well, that was interesting. Didn't expect to have that happen. What's this?
Volumetric ship compressor.
Oh, cool. I got it.
Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals.
Hey, Combo.
These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were
Shit
thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the shit singularity lasts.
Oh, so it's literally saying, hey, now you have your shit together to a cosmic level. All right, all endurance white checks unlocked, learning cap for endurance raised to 4.
Jamais vu. Derealization.
Oh, add another one.
Jamais vu. the opposite of deja vu.
Jamais vu?
Already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is a fundamental question.
1+1 experience for every orb clicked, all intellectual caps raised by 1. Interesting. Okay. Well, good to know. Now I have that. So now I've got these. Did I have any others? Oh god, I have a lot. Lonesome Long Way Home. Oh, I only have 3. Okay. Unlock a new slot to research the thought. And I can't forget these. Have enough skill points available. Oh, it takes skill points to take these off as well as put them on. Oh. Oh, interesting. Good to know. Good to know. And yeah, now my cap has risen on some of these. And I can essentially go check the victim's body now and have a better endurance chance. Now, let's see if I can stop the expression, please.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your fate.
Oh, wait, hold on. Where's the chain cutters, chain cutters, chain cutters? There we are.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it,
Oh, it's
your
locked.
face, adorned with the expression.
Well, can't do it. Need to check it again. Shame. Oh well. Well, that was certainly interesting, getting a whole bunch of shit out of a book.
The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too inviting. But it's yours. You've earned it.
But yeah, hope all of you have been doing well today. I've been alright. Just had kind of a normal day. Nice and cold. And, having just some regular old stuff. How'd he freeze his face again? I mean, remember from the beginning of the game, he got completely and utterly drunk. Like, drunk to a degree that would kill people. Like oblivion was in his mind before he woke up, and he woke up with this expression on. It's essentially what would happen if rigor mortis freezed his face like this. He just his face is like this now, and it's frozen. It's like the nerves are completely frozen and all the muscles are just there. They're just not gonna change unless I can somehow, put points into a method to change the expression. So yeah, he just looks like this now. That's just his face. All right. But yeah, this is day 2. Christ, to think that fucking all of the stuff that I had happen to me in the previous streams of this game happened in an in-game day. One in-game day. That feels so strange to me. Ooh, Kim. Hey, Kim.
Morning.
He gives you a quick nod.
Looks like we can get to work at once. The Union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them.
Are these the men Gart told us about yesterday?
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about. And one big problem to replace it.
Hey, I got a skill point. Now, can I can. Yes. Okay. I can now equip a 4th one. The 15th Indo tribe. Wild Pines. Oh. The suicide of Krasmazov. I'm gonna go with Lonesome Long Way Home. Let's rewind. Let's retrace your drunken steps back home. Jump across the raised channel bridge southwest of here. Fall over, get up, get off the asphalt in 20 minutes. Shuffle your feet through courtyards, scaring little children. Go under the great raised motor tract. The 881 until you reach Le Domaine Eminent in North Jamrock. Okay. Yeah, this is essentially just to help you remember where you live. So if this could actually happen to someone if they got super drunk IRL, or is this more of a fictional thing? This I'd say is more of an exaggeration.
One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first. But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Okay. Can I talk to Gart? The
I
booze
help
damages
you?
the nerves in a certain way. I'm just gonna assume, it's a fictional thing in that just was exaggerated to a degree for the sake of part of the story, I imagine.
Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
A woman's hand wrote yesterday's menu, today's menu's in a man's handwriting. Does she have anything new to say?
Just a moment.
The old woman turns back to the cafeteria manager.
She's agitated, judging from the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge of her blanket.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
Genuinely apologetic. Yeah, if it was real, though, that would be unsettling, but also fascinating. It really would be. Like, I cannot imagine the kind of expressions a person would make, like, when they are in the situation that our main character is in. Like, would they have a face like this if they died, or would they, or would the rigor mortis be warmed up and changed to that solemn expression you usually see?
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
Good day, ma'am. Everything all right?
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
Wait, what's wrong with the phone line?
The manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
Why did you need to use the phone anyway?
To let the young woman who's house sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
That sounds like a side thing I need to take care of compared to my main thing. That's just mean. Okay, I'll bite. Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully. But you have more important things to worry about.
More important than a missing expedition? I don't know. Expeditions often lead to something interesting.
So what's this expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the waterlock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
The waterlock. That was broken. Could this be it?
Wait, who's this Gary person? Do you trust him?
Oh, sweetie, it's nothing like that. Gary's as loyal as they come. I trust him with my husband's life any day.
The water lock on the other side of the coast is broken. They're probably just stuck over there.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
Wouldn't you know, it's blocked by a big butter billboard. It fell right into the water.
Oh, sweetie. If it weren't for you, I'd be looking forward to another sleepless night. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, gee willikers, I crashed my motor carriage into that said billboard and caused her husband to get stranded. Oops.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband.
This will surely lead to a cryptozoological mystery with that extremely rare insect.
Cryptozoological. That... Huh. That... Again, a lot of the terminology feels like it should be real.
Yes, some left-field scientific research is exactly what you need right now. Funk up that vanilla murder investigation.
Oh yeah, because a fucking murder investigation is certainly described best as vanilla.
And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
If I see him, I'll let him know you're here. When or if I get there.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
Tell me more about Morel. Looks, character, your relationship.
Oh, dear. I'm not sure where to begin.
What does your husband look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Oh, that's just cute. Let's try again. If I were to meet him on the street, what would I look for?
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame. And he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting
Oh,
down
Kim's all
the
for
woman's
it.
description.
Good man. Good man, Kim.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, just in case.
How long have you been married?
We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow.
This woman's a beacon of light for me here. I love her. How did the two of you meet?
Via dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking
What?
to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident. And he just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
I think I have all the information I need. Let's move on.
I hope I've been useful.
Tell me more about this rare insect your husband is looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
Minutiae? Okay, Google. Define minutiae. Minutiae, a small, precise, or trivial detail. I've never... I mean, I know the word minute, but I didn't imagine minute had a plural. That is... I am learning so much about my own language. It's so weird.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
I want to hear about the insect.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but
Ah yes, Phasmatodea, a diverse group of insects whose bodies resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing. Ghost
So
insects,
stick bugs.
colloquially. Oh yeah. Here comes the interesting.
where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast. Hence its name, the Insulindian
Okay.
phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us officers.
To be honest, this animal sounds like a cryptid. You wouldn't happen to be searching for some kind of gnome of Jeroma, would you?
Kim!
I smell pseudoscience, he's thinking. Not a big fan of that.
It's simply elusive. So much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all.
Establishment. I thought so.
What makes you think the phasmid is around here?
Well, some teenagers making out in the reed saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in
I
a
went to
local
make out with
newspaper
my
about
girlfriend, and
their
then suddenly one of the
encounter with
reeds
a
was
ghost
crawling on
insect
her back,
that looks
and
like
it
the
was
reeds.
and I felt it as I was trying to undo her bra. And then when it got away, I went back to go make out with her, and she said no. And she said there was no way.
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insular Indian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her
There
eyes
we
sparkle
go.
behind her glasses.
You seem really excited about this cryptid.
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insular Indian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses.
Oh. Oh, that is adorable. Is it valuable?
Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie.
So is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
Okay, what's so special about the stick bug then?
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special.
The woman's face flushes with embarrassment.
Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
That's all for now. Well, that was interesting, learning that apparently there's gonna be there's like a new type of stick bug. I'm gonna zoom out a little more. Hey, it's her, the woman whose gloves I took.
Let me handle this.
The woman says to the crowd in the mess hall before turning to you.
Detective disorientated. Are you still wondering where you are? This is Martinez, in case you've forgotten. I advise you not to overstay your welcome.
Her entire character has shifted.
Wow.
This young woman is cold as ice.
You're the gardener. You lied to me. You're not a gardener.
That's right. I am not a gardener. I'm a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union.
Oh. Oh. Do you want your gloves back?
So let's get to it. You're looking for Titus Hardy? You think he has information that will help you? Maybe he does. That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her.
What if I want to talk to you, not Titus?
What you want is of no significance, officer.
Oh,
Don't
fuck
test
you
your
on that
authority.
one.
In Martinez, you are no one.
Wow.
I saw what you were thinking. You want to say, what are you going to do to me? Don't. Just because it's in your head doesn't mean you have to say it.
Good call, authority. What's your role in all this?
Like I already told you, I'm a legal counselor. Do you have hearing problems?
Why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
Bitch, I threw up from a dead... I blew chunks looking at a dead body earlier.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers.
Good one, Kim.
Listen, you moral intern lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
The tall, broad-shouldered man takes a sip of his beer.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
Wait, he's having a beer at 9 in the morning? The privatization is not unlawful. It's cool and funny. Maybe you're just not historic individuals. The world needs a financial buffer zone. No need to get emotional. I don't know where you heard that, but it's wrong. The RCM is principled and strong, unlike you socialists. I like that. I liked that. Good start. Let's take it with a step further. Armed uprising? What's the union's plans?
Look, a comedian. Do your job, ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Strange. It's as if people don't believe a cop could be a socialist revolutionary.
Yeah, fucking hell, man. Her entire demeanor just gone. All right, let's try and see if we can get the body down. And maybe get some smokes to bribe Kuno. Is he still throwing rocks at the body? I imagine he must be. Inspect the victim's body. God, it feels weird to play this on the second day. Hey, is this guy? Does he have anything new to say?
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
You could push him by asking him to show you the soles of his boots. He definitely looks like someone capable of a lynching.
Let me see the soles of your boots.
Been admiring the stompers, Hunt? For sure, I can demonstrate them.
He lifts up to show you his left foot, then the right.
On the bottom of the man's boots, you see an intricate tangle of treads with no immediately discernible pattern.
What's up with your soles?
It's Revachol.
Where'd you get boots like that?
Custom made. Cost me a pretty penny.
Why?
You'll see when the time comes, officer. True patriots carry Revachol in their very souls.
Technically, you're stomping on Ravachol every step you take.
He took... I love that.
I know you people don't understand poetry.
Got a smoke?
No.
Fair enough. I imagine the cigarettes wouldn't cost more than, like, what, a few real? Oh my god. That is funny. I love that Kim pointed out the irony of his own statement there. That's good.
You see several packaged. The packages are small.
Steal a raincoat? No. What's that? Are those
A
smokes?
colorful display of cigarettes
Yes.
and alcohol bottles line the shop wall, inviting you closer. There, in that dark green glass, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol, love, alcohol.
This is not a good place for a recovering addict. Not right now.
A colorful display. There, in that dark green.
Can I just buy a cigarette?
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
Do you have any ammonia for sale?
She looks up from her magazine, eyes filled with tired ennui.
Yes, what we have is there, in the medicine cabinet. Go take a look yourself.
What's interactable in here again? That's the medicine
A
cabinet,
small
right?
cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo. Their logo is the bloodless rose, pure white, untouched by harm.
Just ask me if you need anything from Saint Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, Magnesium, and Hypnogamma.
Okay. Just the door, Kim, the recycle machine. Alright.
A colorful there.
Guess not, no. I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But I guess you already know that.
It's two. Okay, got it. It's $2.90. So I gotta earn a little more before I do it. Maybe find some more bottles to recycle. All right. Was something new about the... Nope. All right, let's go check out the body again.
There he still is, looking
All right.
right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
Higher chance. Shit is compressed.
As you breathe in, the
Alright.
odor comes over you. It's a smell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your hands at your sides and your eyes squinting, you stand in it. It's a puzzle. What's hanging in front of you is a puzzle of decaying flesh, tattoos, and tendons.
Do they always do that?
They do after 7 days, yes. We are deep in decomposition here.
Step closer.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enameled boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins, and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength.
That would explain why he's able to be held up for that long. Inspect the boots.
The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you. Out of place somehow.
Yeah, why is he naked save for boots? Like, if he's naked save for the underwear, I could understand that, but why the boots too?
These are clearly not boots. They're armor. Possibly part of a larger set.
These aren't boots, are they? This is just the armor he was stripped of. This is the armor he was stripped of.
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons, not boots.
What kind of armor is this exactly?
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be.
Where?
Under the hill. Fair weather.
So
Fair
yeah, they're just
weather
letting him
model
hang out there.
T500
Yeah.
VP. I'm
Well-
guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
Well, the reason why he hung there for so long is because the police took so long to get there. And it's as, people in the story explained, the union matters are not... The union doesn't like having police officers from an outside come in to, police their area. So he's been hanging here for a week. Where's the rest of it? Scavenged by the locals?
Piece by piece. He's been out here for 7 days. It would be odd if they didn't. We should keep a lookout for these species. The armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know.
Maybe he was just wearing these boots and there's no rest of his armor. I'm
The
understood.
sabatons dangle off the man's decaying form, ageless and synthetic.
The material looks out of place here.
It is. It's expensive.
So okay, so he's a guard in the sense that he actually had full-on ceramic armor.
We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics.
Okay, so the Union has a lot of money to throw around if they can deck their guards out in ceramic armor. Or is this the company? Was this a Wild Pines guy or a industrial person? I forget. Who is this guy exactly? Where's the rest of the armor? There's no real backlog on that. But yeah, poor guy for being stuck up here for a week dead.
For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
Jesus.
For the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income is 5,500 real, unadjusted for rank.
That's a lot, I take it?
As a wage, it's regrettably small. But for a piece of hardware, yes, that's a lot.
So, essentially, his entire armor cost more than multiple years' worth of an officer's salary. How could this man afford such expensive hardware?
That's for us to find out. My initial report on the area suggests he was a security guard for the harbor company. But that's just hearsay.
He's looked pretty advanced for a security guard.
I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
Knock on the boot.
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup. Suddenly, your biceps coil up. Your elbow is sharp and cocked for a punch.
Sounds fragile.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally, from plate to plate, dissipating it entirely. See?
Faint, organic lines cover the plates, where they separate into smaller ones.
He's a
These
Star
plates
Trooper?
then
Oh my
divide
god,
into
he is a
smaller
Star
pieces
Trooper.
Until there are hundreds of them altogether. Like whirls of floorboards, the design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps.
What does this remind me of?
If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross-sections would look like.
Run your finger over the lines.
The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right sabaton, where you notice the whirls are in the shape of a letter and number combination: E50, 100, 1000.
Look, there's a serial number on the right sabaton.
Good. Can you read it to me? We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
Pull the boot off.
This feels dangerous. Are you sure?
Actually, before I do that, I need to go use the restroom real quick, so pardon me for one moment, guys. And I'm back. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Alright, let's grab the boot.
The stench fills your nostrils. As you push downward, an ominous creaking sound comes from above.
Oh, is
Stop!
the lieutenant's voice is sharp. He looks at you with the boot under your arm.
Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal!
Oh, this is a bad idea. Let go of the boot.
What's wrong with you, asshole? Why is he letting go, Kuno?
I don't know, baby. I don't know why he's such a...
Oh, Christ. Shut up, Kuno.
Officer, if I may ask, what were you trying to achieve by putting on the deceased foot?
Back off and look at the corpse.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue.
So essentially what would have happened there is if I tried to pull the boot off, I would have pulled the body off from the neck down. I'm done. Where's the other kid at? The other kid is over here. Kinda blends in with the environment. Inspect the belt.
The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch. This is a steel-reinforced cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for tying cargo under 6-rotor airships.
So yeah, I guess the strength of the the strength of this setup. Like, what I thought was going to happen was pull on the boot, the whole body falls because of branch breaks. No, I would have pulled the whole torso from the neck down off, and the head would have still been there. Very disturbing sounding.
Airlifting. I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them.
Apparently this is the reinforced kind for air transport. My brain tells me so.
The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand, without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves.
We're assuming dock workers from the harbor did this? I'm sure they sure wanted him to stay up there. The rope is reinforced with steel wiring.
I was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed.
How'd they even get him up there?
A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around.
Did they climb up using the kid's ladder?
That ladder can't carry a grown man. I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt to close the buckle.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory.
We're assuming dock workers from the harbor did it.
I'm still approaching this as a lynching, yes. Motivated by the ongoing strike. You?
No. You feel like it was something else. But what?
Hard to say. I mean, he is a security guard for a dock working company. I feel like it was something else.
Yes, it often is. This bell worries me.
Back off and look at the corpse.
The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos.
Inspect the tattoos.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart.
Sounds expensive.
His corpse is marked by stars.
What will mine be marked by?
Alcohol and heartbreak. Your fist clenches suddenly.
It will be marked by bullet holes. It will be riddled with disco.
Decay is creeping on the tattoo. Already, most of the canvas that's holding it has darkened. Now, it disintegrates slowly, letting out a stink.
Is this a national pattern? Is this a map of the night sky? Is this a microelectronics system? So it said, blue lines stretched across the torso from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. So a bunch of stars connecting to each other. It's definitely not one. It might be 2 or 3 though. Map? Possibly 4 a microelectronic system. That's hard to say. Sorry about that, phone went off.
Of no nation that I know of. If anything, it reminds me of religious illumination, last or penultimate century.
Oh, so
Men who live
it
harsh
might be a star
lives
pattern.
often turn to innocentic worship. But which one? I see no trace of a humanoid figure. I agree.
We're missing something here. A sudden ring fills the air as the lieutenant pulls down the zipper of his orange jacket.
He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
What's that?
A Trigat Sunshine. Mini.
If it's a map that kind of links with the spaceman theory, maybe.
Trigat is the world's leading manufacturer of intercommunication devices, primarily projectors. The camera before you looks familiar somehow.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera.
He produces 2 metal crapped? 2 metal crapped! He produces 2 metal capped ampoules and clicks them into a place into place on the side of the apparatus. A thin slot shines there.
I have only 2 ampoules, so... nobody will.
Ampoules. Okay.
I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a
Oh,
small
that is-
ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
In case we need it.
Cool machine.
Yes. It is pretty cool, isn't it?
There is only one ampoule left. Use it wisely.
What do we need this photo for?
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter. To us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around.
Can I have it? I should look at it later without the corpse smell.
Sure. Just don't lose it.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming
Ooh,
with
chemical
opportunistic
rainbow.
organisms.
Look him in the eye.
His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside.
Ugh.
The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
Christ. Yeah, this... Like, I'm handling this fine because it's a video game, but I'm pretty confident if I ever had to see something like this in real life, it would be something you would have etched in your brain. Alright, tell me, who are you, dead man?
The corpse is dead silent.
Are you
You have
fucking
no idea
kidding
why
me?
you just said that.
Oh, god damn it! Ugh.
Who is he? He is male, 40-50, with an athletic build.
Is that a... Okay, it's a white check. Good.
The corpse looks
Fuck me,
right
man.
through you as you distance yourself from its stench. Eyes like a shark.
Squint and take a step back.
As you narrow your eyes,
It was an
the
83%
monster
chance.
before
How did I
you
fail
blurs
that?
Into a violent mess of green and pink. This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse has been tampered with. Does his position at the time of death match the discoloration?
Well, I imagine if people were forcefully removing the armor he was wearing, that's probably the cause.
Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
His face and hands are pink. Thighs, too.
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin. We have good, well-pronounced discoloration here.
Relax
The
your
monster
eyes.
comes back into focus, an explosion of color, coursing with dark marbled veins. His stomach appears pregnant with something. Black liquid streams down his thigh and onto his boot.
So, what do you think?
I think he's dead. He's dead, Jim. I think he was upright after death. His hands, feet, and neck are discolored. Something's coming out of him. He's beaten. See the bruises? I think he was killed, and then his body was left to hang, because I doubt a living man would be so quiet and or easily hung like this. And there's nobody to have gotten his body up there and then drop him. So he was upright after death. His hands, feet, and neck are discolored.
Agreed. Especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging.
Could it still be he was moved after death?
There's always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune with the belt. We'll have to get him down first.
Something's coming out of him.
A pool of blood and feces has eaten into the frozen mud below the man's feet. Purge liquid is dripping into it, drop by drop.
Oh, God.
The victim appears to have contained no more than half a kilogram of digestion at the time of death.
Oh, God. So digestive acid is pouring out of him. Oh.
The fuck he's saying?
Talking about shit.
Fuck you, kid. Shut up. Kuno S. I just realized the name. We got lucky. Maybe he went to the toilet sometime before death.
Maybe.
He doesn't really want to dwell on it that long. That is fair. He's beaten up.
I do. Most of them are post-mortem. Maybe even all of them. The delinquents have made our jobs harder with their little sport.
Stop talking in riddles, coin slot.
It means you fucked him up good, Kuno. Fucked him up brutal like.
I think he's dead.
I agree.
His personality is no longer a part of the world.
Totally dead.
The word no longer stores his personality. The world no longer stores his personality in its composition. There was a time for that, and it ended 7 days ago. No better not to say that too heavy. No better not say that too heavy. Totally, this Buster's not coming back. Deady dead, dead, dead. What is dead anyway? Wow. Again, the game really knows when it wants to pull a joke out.
He's...
What is dead anyway? Back off and catch your breath.
But there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air and your nostrils. He slowly rotates before you, decomposing.
So how do we get him down?
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
Have another look.
The cadaver slowly
Yeah, I want to do
twists
this
on the
check.
cargo belt. His talk.
I want to do that check. I really, really want to do that check. Or I can interact with the photo. But I need a better hit on Inland Empire first. Victim's tattoos. Ask around about tattoos' possible meaning. Run the number of the victim's armor. Okay. Well, that was very enlightening. Managed to gather a lot there. Is there anything new around here? Actually, something I should do. So can you talk to the dead? Not necessarily. It's more like... How do I put this? You know how sometimes my tie will chime in on a conversation? It's essentially the same thing there. I'm gaining some kind of personnel insight or some kind of input, I guess, on what the body could give. I frankly have no clue how I could word it, but...
The dented yellow mailbox greets...
But essentially what it is a, it's essentially being like, okay, what can I learn from this body from, like... You know what? I don't know how to describe it. It works. I can describe it well when it comes to objects, but I cannot describe it when it comes to something like a cadaver. It's essentially having the skill of having something speak to you. Like, you know, whenever you look at a shirt or something and you're like, oh, I don't know why I got this shirt. It's like it spoke to me or something, or it just speaks to me on some level. That's essentially what Inland Empire is like. Something speaks to you, and I'm saying that with air quotes. Okay, so that dude is just drunk. Is that a new person? Or is that just a NPC? You see a sturdy woman humming to herself. She seems to be browsing books. Wouldn't it be bad for all these books to be out here in the middle of the snow? Like the tie? Like the tie. A good one?
Yes? Hello?
Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Shouldn't a working class woman be working?
Not all the time. Right now I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Good, good.
It is.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Do you need the help from a... Good then. Do you need any help?
What with?
Maybe... Watch her browse books.
Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking.
Maybe your husband is missing?
My husband? No, he's not.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Maybe you're cockatoo? What the fuck is a cockatoo?
I don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here.
For what it's worth, I agree. But cockatoos can't be stopped when they get ladies. It's better to indulge him at this point.
A bird? No, that's a cockatrice. Or, no, a cockatrice is a fictitious creature. What do you mean I'm being a cockatoo?
Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore.
Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain? Or your heraldic bird?
You're being sarcastic. Let's talk about something else.
Please, let's do.
Maybe your children are missing?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so where are they?
Are you a policeman or a nanny?
I police wherever I want. Where are they?
They are not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance.
Fuck you, electrochemistry.
I see.
The woman before you.
Yeah, I'm just... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, damn. What did you share with me? Oh, so it's a oh. Huh, I thought it was just an insult. I didn't know that was a real bird. Good to know. Is there anything else to interact with? Cindy, the skull is still there. Yeah, I don't see much else. I gained a skill point, but I used it to get another, I guess, aspect.
There. Working class drunk. You know what this means, right?
Case solved?
Cracked it. All in a good day's work.
Wait, what did I crack exactly?
What do you mean, what did I crack? Look at how working class that drunk is.
Some third option?
No. Stop goofing around, recruit.
It's the future leader of the proletarian uprising.
No, it's not.
It's her husband, the missing husband.
Yes, and you found him. Now go and tell the working class woman. Protect and serve, recruit.
This doesn't add up. I'm only making a fool of myself.
Do marriages make any sense? Does honor? You're not a filthy philosopher. You're an officer of law.
Shut the
it's
fuck
time
up.
to ace this case and not brood over your reputation. We can deal with the perception management later.
Shut the fuck up, authority.
Not honorable, recruit. Not honorable at all.
Oh my god, this game. Alright, so... I don't think there'd be any new bottles.
Snow covers the white on blue police livery of the motor carriage. The white colors nearly meld together.
Wait, why am I even thinking about this? Wasn't I supposed to...
Do something important? Something murder-related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery. This is a Caprice Kinema, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful workhorse, Caprice 40, and the answer to the Lum's racing breed, Ferv series.
So if you're using a different browser, does it open up in that setup or the Bing one? I imagine it opens up in Bing. I imagine it opens with Bing, since that is what the link is.
With its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine, driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox, the Kinema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds, and go on to a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour.
That's pretty fast. Turn your attention to the motor. Won't it roll over in the first sharp corner?
The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Kinema effectively a mobile power plant.
Turn your attention to the motor carriage itself.
Even at a standstill, the unibody Caprice Kinema looks sleek and dynamic. The cabin is tilted frontward to give it a more aggressive, hunched look. Someone has waxed it recently.
That machine really puts the loco back in locomotion. Very cool.
Mm-hmm. You want to take a closer look?
What's it? A fine machine. What in there has made the infernal whining sound that woke me?
Yes. An extraordinary machine.
He likes cars.
It's nice and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it. Flare it up. Slam it down. Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot. It's a bit girly right now. Fit it with some proper off-road components.
What? Where is all this coming from? Ever thought about switching to helium headlights?
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first.
If we ever get this case solved, maybe we can do it together.
Maybe. Yes, definitely maybe.
Okay, let's move. Wow, I just suddenly went on a diatribe about a car. Fucking out of nowhere.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
Got any smokes on you?
Nope. Don't smoke. Some of the other drivers do, though. There's still a few around, waiting for the jam to disperse.
You have one in your
Waiting for the
hand.
sweet release of death.
Yup. Nothing wrong with that statement. Your senses have nothing to add. You'll have to ask around elsewhere.
Guess I'll
You
ask
could also
around
check
elsewhere.
the kiosk down the street. Frit. With 3 T's. Rebishaw's weird.
But isn't that a cigarette in his hand? Like, did he just fucking lie to me? Someone Mod Joker took... Hold on, what? Oh my god. Yeah, that's what happens when you mod Smash Bros. You can get all sorts of weird bullshit, like having Mr. Krabs replace Wario, which oddly enough actually fits. Alright, I'm gonna talk to him, see if he's got smokes.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Nope, got nothing. Nothing new. Alright. Does he have smokes? If he's a worker.
Right to work! Right to work! Shame on you!
Alright. Nothing there. I don't want to try at Measurehead yet because I haven't put any points into whatever I need to try and knock him out. And yeah, it looks like I still can't... I must have really combed this area well and bought by checking bottles. So it looks like I can't get anything at this time. Let's... So 9 p.m. was the time to check out the guy who was smoking on the balcony. Oh wait, significance of tattoos. I could talk to Measurehead about that. Except... Except that probably won't go over very well. I think... I'm going to... I might as well go talk to Measurehead about the tattoos if there's anything that can be talked about. Logic and -1 authority. Why not? Give those a try. Give those glasses a shot. But yeah, let's have another fun conversation with everybody's favorite jacked weirdo, Measurehead. Can I talk to him about tattoos?
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Nah, I can't talk to him about tattoo meanings. Alright. No one but Kim to talk to up here. question is, can I talk to Kim about what he might assume the tattoo's meaning is?
Yes?
You seem to be following me. Nope, nothing new. Maybe going to the whirling. I want to look at the photo, actually, see if I can get anything new out of that. All right. And photograph.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time the lines intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing.
Doesn't Kim kind of have the accurate biker outfit?
Riddle his skin.
Yeah, he kind of does, with the bomber jacket.
Is highest around his heart. The pattern still kind of has an ethnic feel to it, but nothing familiar.
What's the meaning of this tattoo?
For you to discover. You've gotten as far as you will without assistance. Someone who knows about history could tell you.
Knows about his... So maybe Joyce.
Gone.
Who are you? Gone? I like that. Alright. Yeah, I probably should talk to Joyce. She might have some insight as to the tattoo mapping. Now, the other problem is, would it be a good idea to share a dead body photo with her? I don't think so. But it's worth a shot. Anything
Every
new?
snowflake is like a little gift from the sky.
Who is that?
Oh, that's Auntie Billy. She's nice if a bit distressed.
She's your aunt?
No, sir. She's a working woman who comes to look at the books a lot.
Why is she distressed?
I think she is a bad husband. Not very nice or helpful.
Gotcha. Okay, sir. So her husband's not missing, he's a jackass. Good to know. Alright. Let's see if Joyce has anything that can help out in regards to the picture. It's gonna be weird showing her a dead body, but alright.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Do you know something about these tattoos?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
So you know something about the tattoos?
Better not tie the fourth day to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
That's the man who was killed.
Why? How's it looking at...
I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Why? How is you looking at the photo tied to the lynching?
Better not tie the fourth day to the backstay.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her from it.
Okay, so I had the right idea, but she can't because of protocol. Damn it. More questions
More
on
lessons
reality?
in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
What is reach for something fundamental?
What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air.
What world is this?
What world? The only one, I suppose. The world of matter. And its pale antipode.
The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water.
What do you see?
Great bodies of water. Forest-covered surfaces. Clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough. There is a term of endearment they coined for it in the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included.
What is it?
Elysium.
Elysium. The world needs a term of endearment.
It does. There are those who would call it hell.
What is hell?
A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the Mesk petro-fascists.
I don't feel like I've got the whole picture yet.
Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're
It is
having
weird to
some
get
trouble
diluted.
reaching orbit.
I was just investigating a dead body, and here I am discussing reality.
Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways.
How about it's a ball?
That's looking less and less likely, Detective. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere
Doesn't make
since
sense
the 30s.
how you can't just show Measurehead the picture. I assume he would just make some kind of racist remark towards the body instead of actually paying attention to the tattoos.
ORG, Occident Reverscholgrad.
There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three, they're piecing together a dark grey corona.
A dark gray corona?
Yes. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago.
So, like, the world's structure itself is broken?
A cold fear seeps into you.
The pale. What do you mean by corona?
They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet. Or, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swathes of land disrupted by nothingness.
So, like an asteroid belt, but for a planet. Or if we're just a bunch of pieces of landmass that are being kept together by some large gravity? What in the fuck am I reading here?
I am sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the greatest questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut. Bring us together, however naive it may sound.
A fractured corona doesn't feel like it's gonna bring anyone together.
You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it.
Well, if you say it doesn't sound like any disco I'd like to go to. Well, if you say it's disco.
See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world. However
Holy shit,
wasted its opportunities.
I just got a lowdown on reality structure and possibly learned that we may be on a fracture of a planet. Like, and I'm not talking about like, oh, just a fracture of a globe. No, like the planet itself is fractured and scattered.
Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there, on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. The lieutenant observes you both, silently. He adjusts his glasses.
You said pale. What is pale?
The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality.
Yes. Also, I think we've had enough excitement for today. Remember, we have a cadaver to attend to.
Of course, Lieutenant. Let's try something else.
I don't want to. I want to know what the pale is. What do you mean it's not part of reality?
Ma'am, remember you are dealing with a very sensitive and impressionable police officer.
That's
still
trippy, so the
recovering
water
from
just
recent
stops or
medical
flows off over the side of the crack. Yeah, that's... I'm reminded a lot of Terry Pratchett. I've only read one of his books, but I'm reminded of Discworld. His Discworld saga, where he has these diatribes over how essentially the world that he's created is on a flat sheet. And that sheet is on the back of a turtle, I want to say, and that turtle itself swims in a black abyss that is the form of space. So, yeah, I really like hearing about universe building in terms of creating a world, and they certainly created a world here.
The Lieutenant's right. Let's change topics. What do
You could sneak back later when the lieutenant is not here, unless you can convince him to step aside.
That's all for
Glad
now.
to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
You're on a boat.
Why, yes, I am.
Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelation.
Ugh, that's bad luck. You do not call a boat an
That's
it.
the type of sloop it is.
The word it feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Cool, but your boat really needs a name.
Okay. How about Cordelation 19? Why?
She taps on the side of the boat. It makes a hollow sound.
Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelation, and its hull is 19 paces long.
She makes a point of being unromantic about it.
How about Dolores?
Why Dolores?
I don't know. Feels pretty. After her innocence, Dolores Day.
I'm not really big on moralist symbols. I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you. Okay, because...
She makes a point of being unromantic about it.
How about Sleek Fish?
What?
Because it's sleek and fish-like.
I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you.
Okay, so she is not a romantic. Her inland empire is very much not there.
It's a pleasure craft. A 19-pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
How do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the mother weirdness.
Sorry, Kim.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
What do you mean archipelago?
I mean, we are on Le Caillou, are we not?
The Caillou? I love that. The Caillou? You mean Baby One Punch Man? I thought we were in Revachol. Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly Fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
I think I have a handle on the boat thing.
Good.
Alright, well I think that's everything. Wow! Okay then. Was not expecting a lowdown on reality there. That was... Well, I mean, I knew I was gonna ask her about more reality stuff, but I didn't expect to possibly have the existential dread of that.
Just an ordinary war.
Damn.
No.
Still can't talk to him. Still can't talk to Walt. How long until I level up again? Okay, 69 to up. Nice. I have 69 experience points. Now, trying to think. I could talk to Titus because he's new on all this. He's a new factor, or I could talk to the law person. Yeah, I want to talk to the guy. I'm gonna talk to Roy, see what he says. But yeah, I like the idea of having different structures to planets like that. It's really interesting.
Hello again. How can I help you?
Can't check that. Nothing new. Alright, man, it's been fun, interesting game. I'm gonna head out. Okay, see ya, Combo. Thanks for dropping by. Alright. Where to next? I can't get any bottles or cans to recycle. And that bridge is up. Is that a... Wrong button. Nah, I can't. No, there's nothing in there. Okay. I must have cleaned this out before. Wait. Can I... Are those able to be picked up? Nope. Sadly not. Alright. How about... we best, let's see what we can do. I don't want to check the body yet because I still want to, get that Inland Empire check. So let's go talk to the law lady first and then to Titus, whoever he is.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time? What you want is of no significance. Like I already told you, aggressive. Listen, you must.
Fuck yeah.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
The world needs a financial buffer zone. No need to get emotional. So essentially, they want equality for all, whereas I'm a part of a larger enforcer that's being manhandled. So the privatization is not unlawful. It's cool and funny. Maybe you're just not historic individuals.
I don't need privatization peons from a rent-a-cop.
Oh.
Just do your job. Ask your questions, then get out of Martinez.
Oh, call me a rent-a-cop. Fuck you, lady. It's a bowl. They're spitting it, reeking of tobacco. Oh, God, no, not chewing tobacco. That shit's gross. Ew. Photos of men in overalls toting guns and Union placards. You see hawthorn bushes outside. All right.
This is where you say your bed.
A broad-shouldered man points at you with his beer can.
Detective.
Don't say anything.
Hey, dipshit. You hard of hearing or something? The boss man's talking to you.
We need to talk about the hanged man out back.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that won't.
That is an accent.
You're sure taking your time, waiting for him to get ripe and pretty for you, huh?
Oh, he was a real pretty boy by now. Real hot stuff. Letting out that pretty boy smell.
Time to go to work in the shit factory!
Easy, boys. These janitors have a hell of a job cut out for them. I mean, I wouldn't go in there for $1 million.
He slaps his forehead.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match.
Scan the room.
Starting from the right. Boot size 44. Blonde man in his 30s. Overbearingly masculine. Sitting on his right. Standard working boots. Size 45 or 46. Eldest in the room. Probably mid-50s. Smoker. Quiet. Across at the other table. Hobnailed working boots. Size 43. Gang tattoos. Mesk or Sarah Mauritian in his late 30s, early 40s. And then, standard working boot. Steel reinforced toes. Size 46. The big dick. Wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips. Rugby cap. Fingerless gloves. and numerous scars. A little under 40.
So essentially Bruce Willis. This Bruce Willis looking motherfucker.
The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain. In the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 44, 40-something, non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum?
And the little guy?
Size 41, with the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46. Deep marks.
So these guys seem like they could be pegged for the ones that hung the body.
He alone is 130 kilos. Add the man.
At the very least,
armor,
hung,
and
not
you could
killed.
Easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
One of them is missing. The odd soul.
Exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
I found 8 sets of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where's the 8th Hardy boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here.
He sizes you up.
Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy boy? We ain't hiring.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. End.
He points to the lieutenant.
You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
The man hanging in the backyard. Did you do it?
The pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why is there a container belt around the dead man's neck?
Container belt? Like we use in the harbor?
Yes. Why?
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him.
You are saying this in front of a cop, you dumbass?
We did this. Together. All of us. Until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
So you just confessed to the murder?
Goddamn right.
No. These 7 honest men have equally come forth. They told you what happened so that you don't waste any more of your time.
Are you... Oh, so she's like their lawyer, impromptu lawyer. Oh, no. Who called the shots that night?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy boy without arresting all Hardy boys. Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
Address Elizabeth. I don't have to. One of them was more complicit than the others. No, but seriously, who calls...
That's for the courts in Les Jardins to decide. Not for the officer making an arrest. Which we all know you won't be. What you can do right now is go back to your station and write a report.
No. We'll stay here and discuss what happened that night.
You murdered him just like... Well, when did this hanging incident occur?
You don't have to keep answering his questions.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
How long had you known the victim?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
So he's just a no-name.
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
So he's probably referring to Joyce.
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier? The representative for White Pines? The same company you are striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
He rubs his chin, pretending to mull it over.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
What? No remorse?
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital
okay, gotcha.
under the coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it used to be the firing squad.
Or send them to Reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
He says it as if it were worse than dying. Honestly, I drink so much I can't really remember. Look, I'm just doing my job, that's all.
Doesn't remember them. He just forgets. Are you hearing this, Titus?
Ain't no use keeping a stiff catalog in your head. That's for sure.
I mean, I literally drank myself into forgetting everything, so... yeah. Why'd you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he was a mercenary, that's it?
So am I. Now.
Countless lines separate life and death. What terminal boundary was crossed here? Men like Titus don't murder over nothing. Ask him again.
I'm going to ask you again, Titus. Why'd you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless.
So he was a mercenary, that's it?
He stepped out of line.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike.
Oh, so like a riot cop. Got it.
Too. Had Cohoy and Seminine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
This one has a special gripe with him coming here.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Right, but what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one,
Jesus.
harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
There's slight unease in him suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. That was before he started coming here.
Okay, so he was a piece of shit, that's for certain.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
The lieutenant is trying to make sense of the flood of information.
Yeah, this girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt?
Jesus
Then,
Christ.
She gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Wait, so this same girl was sexually assaulted?
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
Right, but who?
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
How did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, copper?
Didn't they teach you anything at the cop school, idiot?
This is where an autopsy would come in handy. You have to work with what you know.
We need more. Did you muffle him? We haven't heard any reports of screams.
Titus, you don't have to clarify anything.
We overpowered him. Dragged his unconscious body to the tree. Put a noose around his neck. and hanged him till he was dead and steady.
Then we left him for seagulls, maggots, and you fucks.
Make them a bit more uncomfortable first, then see if it all adds up.
How'd you manage to overpower him?
With numbers, asshole. How do you think? You're right, Lizzie. I've done enough explaining here.
No, he hasn't. Not yet.
Where did this overpowering happen?
Weren't you fucking listening? The fucker came to our bar. It happened right here.
I have a possible...
Actually, they're admirably, surprisingly composed. The entire room. Given how many questions you've lobbed their way.
All of them? Maybe one of them is fidgeting, cracking under the pressure?
Well, this one. But he's always fidgeting, so don't get your hopes up.
Right, I have other questions about the lynching.
Like what, copper?
Why didn't I just arrest you?
Yeah, lawman. Why don't you?
It's almost an anthropological sight, watching him try to assert dominance over you.
Not in the arresting mood?
His mean little eyes come alive with hatred.
By your side, the lieutenant keeps his hand away from his holster. You hear the nylon of his coat hiss as he steps closer. Easy. Walk back from the provocation. They're armed, and they outnumber us. The lieutenant tries to establish eye contact with you.
Easy now, let's just talk.
Wise move. You made the right choice there. Now make another one, and get the fuck out of our booth. We're not gonna do this again.
So what are we gonna do now?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus. I've done this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility, we're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
I don't have the authority for that. I'm gonna take off now. Oh, parts of that conversation felt hard. Whew. Oh, that legitimate... Parts of that legitimately made me uncomfortable. Like, I'm not gonna front with you. That was hard. That felt like... I felt like the wind was getting just kind of sliding out. Like, oh man, it just felt rough at some points. Whew.
Behind the dockworkers, a ceiling height window. The hawthorn branches scrape the glass like bony fingers.
Squint.
There's a little slide panel up there to let some air in. No need to open it in spring. It's still too cold outside.
It's not time yet. Okay. So I guess I have to do that at night. Alright, is there anything new here? Whoa. Man, Whew. That was so much. Fucking hell. There was nothing there that felt right. And I mean that in a good way. Like, wow. That was a conversation. Alright. Was it Inland Empire? What were the other checks I needed? Measurehead, physical instrument. Kim. Esprit de corps. Volition. Yep, it was Inland Empire. Let's get Inland Empire up one. No, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, let's try that again. Let's see if we can get Inland Empire to help us out with the body. Whew! That was tense. Like, I actually felt the tension there. God damn. Alright. Oh. She's on the roof. Alright, well, let's check the body.
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and white boots. His skin is marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. On his chest, a fading web of tattoos. The cargo belt used to hang him from the tree looks reinforced.
I'm gone.
Where have you gone?
Into the wild pale yonder.
Where is that?
In the past. Way out in the west.
I can see you're gone, but who are you?
I'm a joke. Look at me.
There's nothing funny about you.
There is nothing funny about jokes either.
Who were you when you were alive?
A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
I have another question for you.
Go ahead, Coppo.
What is happening?
What do you mean?
I'm talking to you.
It's the power of your...
Black frothy liquid starts bubbling on his lips.
Imagination.
Yeah, man! Don't be crazy! Inanimate objects and dead people can't really talk to you. Your wild imagination is doing this. Ask some more of those questions you love so much.
He loves those.
I love it. Now the Thai is having a conversation with a dead man. Why do I love questions so much?
Because you're a copperoonie. Look at all of them go. Do you want more questions?
Give me a comical amount of questions.
Coming right up. Copperoonie, Rooney. This is getting upbeat now.
Is my name Rooney?
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
Of course not. My name is Raphael Ambrosius Costeau. Costeau.
Listen to yourself. You're not a Raphael anything. You're probably just Harry or something. That's right. Harry.
I feel like I've been getting a lot of Harry lately.
You might be onto something there.
Why do I feel like I've forgotten something terrible?
Because you have.
Who killed you?
Love did me in, Brother Copo. It was love all along.
Can you ask me a question?
Sure, Lobo. I can ask you a question. Why are you doing this?
What?
Looking at my face, motionless. Looking into my eyes. Standing here. Why are you investigating my murder?
I don't have anything else to do. This is the case is all I have. Because he told me to. Maybe this will lead to something. Something indescribable. Unforeseen. Miraculous? The clown lips on the corpse appear to smile. The face rotates before you slowly.
Something is on its way. Something hidden. It's coming. A miracle from the northwest, and it's almost here. You can feel it in the air, on your hands. The cold spring air smoothing them over.
I hate you. You stink and you're boring.
Do I remind you of someone?
A child born with Muller's disease, Harlequinism, grown up miraculously.
A baby affected with Harlequinism.
You sure I got out of that one? Coppellini.
Enough.
Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
That is not the dialogue that was spoken, alright.
Of course. Come back.
The steel-reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt. The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material.
Maybe we could ask for help from the harbor?
I was really hoping we wouldn't. The Union appeared to be suspect in this case. It seems like a dangerous route to go down.
But what other options? The corpse twists on the belt, like chicken on a skewer.
We could saw the branch.
Climb up there and saw the branch?
Yeah, seems dangerous.
There has to be a less risky way, with less falling down of trees.
Can someone else do it?
Someone else? You mean like The police?
You have a point there.
Sadly, yes. The whole RCM is out there right now, doing the exact same thing we are. Are we in a rush to help them? Not with this on our hands. I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we have a growing sanitary concern here. We need to get him down, fast.
That's it. We'll have to ask for help in the harbor.
Okay. They do have the tools and the men.
They can get him down.
Since it looks like they put him there,
they can get him down too.
Okay. Let's do it in the lousy, dangerous way.
How do we get in the harbor?
From the gates. By negotiating or fighting. Or we can try the secret route we found, where your cloak is. It looked doable.
To the gates. Let's fight, I say.
Let's get to it then. Alright, so nothing can be done about the body for now, but we've pretty much gotten everything out of there that we can. Alright, it is 11 in the day at the moment. And yeah, I don't think Titus would be happy with the idea of trying to get the body down, because they're the ones that put him up there. But yeah, that whole dialogue with Titus, fucking hell, that was a lot. I was not expecting that kind of conversation to happen. Well, I probably should have expected it to some small extent, but fuck, man. Just, God. Alright, what was the other Inland Empire check that I could do? For Kim, and that's it, just for Kim. Okay. Nothing else quite yet. Alright, well, let's try to ring in the armor.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Tap that.
As you tap on the gauge.
No, that's enough fun with the foldable headlights. I know they are mesmerizing. They're also fragile.
Pick up the radio.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Could you run a serial number for me from a pair of armored boots?
Sure, officer. What's the number? And the make of the armor, if you know it. Got it. I'll contact the ICP database immediately. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have dug up something useful by then.
The International Collaboration Police, ICP, is an inter-Isolari law enforcement service, the crown jewel in the moral intern diadem, alongside EPIS and the coalition government.
41st again?
Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over.
That's all for now.
Roger that. 10-10, over.
Okay, so I can only just tell them that I lost my gun. Alright. Well, what is left? I could try to make that jump again, but I don't know if I'll be able to get back. Because that seems like a real commitment, instead of trying to knock Measurehead out and open the gates. Actually, let's talk to this lady now that we know that her husband's an ass.
My husband?
Little girl.
No, he's not.
Little girl over there told me you have a bad husband.
Excuse me? A bad husband? What do you mean?
Not a nice and helpful sort.
Do policemen just go around repeating what some kid off the street said?
She doesn't mean to be antagonistic, but she can't help coming off defensive.
Those were her words, not mine. I'm merely asking.
Can I give you some friendly advice, Mr. Policeman? Don't listen to kids.
So you don't have a bad husband?
No, I don't. I have a good husband. The kind and helpful sort. And he's not missing.
He's totally missing.
Okay, so where could he be?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working?
Where is this going, officer?
So what I'm hearing is you don't really know where your husband is.
Yes, but I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time.
Wouldn't you like to?
No.
Can totally help finding your missing husband. Suit yourself then. I don't really care if you're...
Why are we still talking about this? I haven't lost my husband.
She has, though. The husband is totally lost. You should tell her that it's okay.
It's okay.
What?
It's alright. It's alright to not know where your husband is. Nothing shameful in that.
Who said anything about shame? Stop talking down to me. My husband is not missing.
But he is. You can feel it. Or maybe it's something else then. The woman before you, not.
So, wait, is that... That wouldn't be her husband, is it? Nah, it doesn't seem like it. Alright, well I got a large amount of experience points. I'm almost leveling up again. Wait, run the number of the victim's armor. Oh, callback. Yeah, right. Now then. I wonder if there's... Is there anybody new in the apartment complex? Since it is a new day. And maybe Cindy has some new dialogue to talk about with yes, thing, talking, words, yes, blank. I know how words work.
Give me a moment.
I have a few questions about those apartments.
Ask away, policeman.
Do you know who lived in the foreclosed apartments?
The hell am I supposed to know? Another nut job, I assume.
Why is there a hole in the wall in the abandoned apartment?
Some lunatic lost his mind. All kinds of morons pass through these halls.
With how small these rooms are, wouldn't you want to break the wall down?
That is fair. I am a... Listen, I can understand wanting some more space as a person who is 6'2". Is one of the residents on vacation? Their mailbox is overflowing.
People come and go. I don't keep an eye on everyone.
They probably just moved or died. Hopefully somewhere else.
Who lives in apartment 10?
No one lives there. It's been empty for months.
But I talked to someone through the door.
Impossible. I would know if someone had moved in there. Maybe it's those countercultural people again. Breaking into a house like it's a public space. You're a policeman. Be good and take a look, will you?
I'll see what I can find.
Great. Young people. They're worse than rats. You know, always littering the hallways with trinkets and empty beer cans.
Who lives in the padlock door?
Oh, that one is a scientist. A future scholar. I think he studies astrology at the community college. Education's good. I always tell them to study.
Astrology?
Something to do with all those stars around his door.
Ah.
He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall.
You mean the star and antlers? I think that's a symbol for communism.
The symbol of what and how?
Communism. You know, like in the World Revolution. You know, the ones who support the working class against capital. It's an ideology. It has some noble aims, but it also been used to justify terrible bloodshed. It's for loons who have no idea how economy works. It's a symbol for contributing to the demise of our noble state in the name of some made-up world of equality. Communism, it's a political ideology. I'm gonna go with 3.
The cleaning lady shrugs and returns to...
That is the most... Honestly, that'd be the response I'd give. What can you tell me about Cindy?
The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them. Still, she leaves an old lady to her business. More than I can say for others. She leaves an... Oh, I think he studied something to do with all those stars around his door.
Are you sure you don't mean astronomy?
That's what I said. Astrology.
The lieutenant shakes his head, as though to say, let it go. Come on, people. Try to keep up any standards here. It's not about stars. It's... forget it.
Okay, so that would have been if I didn't have the communism route.
Oh, that... I think he studies something... The symbol of what and how? I don't believe in equality. Never seen it work. Oh, I think he studied something...
I want to see what all of the...
The symbol of what and how? Never heard of it.
I want to see what her response is to all of these, because it might be funny.
The symbol of what and how?
For loons who have no idea how...
Economy? Why should anyone care about economy? Oh,
Because it's what runs your lights at occasions?
Something to do with all those stuff. The symbol of what and how?
You know, the ones who support the working class against the capital.
Huh. I thought Revachol was the capital.
Wow, she's really behind.
Oh, I think he's something to... The symbol of what? Ah. All I know about politics is that it's brought us more harm than good.
All right, that's all.
Some kind of a response. Wow, you work hard.
I do?
Oh, yes. You hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide.
What hard work do I do exactly?
Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum after you re-emerged. That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up.
This is for the G's, and this is for the hustlers, and this is for the hustlers, and back to the G's.
And you won't let it break you. You ride.
Yeah, I ride. A little.
A little? You make money. You've got skills, baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the innocents on them. You bring in the Franco Negros and the Solas. It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop, and a sprinter, and a money printer.
I mean, yeah, I did take that bribe from that Joyce woman.
Oh yeah, you took that bribe hard. You're a killer.
So is this essentially going to be like the, yeah, I'm truly making money as I have 1 real? You can say I took some money from the Manana guy, too.
You didn't log that in as a donation either. You don't log any of that shit in. You're a straight rider.
Oh, and there's the pawning stuff off to that suspicious Roy guy.
Yeah, you're in the sales business. Shake 'em for shit and then pawn it off. Law officer style.
I guess I've made some gills, sure.
Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety attack or shoot yourself in the mouth? But you still hustle 24/7, ride or die. Now, ask yourself, are you rich?
No, I'm not.
That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave, and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that?
It's because of that Gart guy riding my ass. The system is broken. There's a market for corrupt cops out there, but the immigrant cops have price dumped it. Fucking taxes, man. I don't know why. Why am I so poor?
Because of the taxes. G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket, stealing from you every time you buy, sell, walk, talk, fart, so much as sneeze.
Savoir Faire, where is all this coming from? You're supposed to be the slick man.
Every time you wipe your ass, they got their direct and their indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax, alimony, one tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus there's the stuff people in other countries pay for. That makes
what
them
am I
ask for
reading?
more money from you. Here. Total tax duties add up to 98% of all your money.
No fucking way. I guess I'm a free market fundamentalist now. Oh, this game is so much. So many layers. So many weird subsets of feats you can have. Are you sure? That seems like a pretty big number.
What are you not sure about? They're milking your nipples till they bleed. Can't you see? Aren't you sick and tired of having bloody nipples?
I can't believe I'm playing a game that at one point had me almost at a standoff with Union people that admitted to killing and hanging a man who is decked out in full armor, and now I'm being talked to and asked if I'm sick and tired of having bloody nipples. This is the duality of man, the video game. That is the best way I can describe this. It is the duality of man, the video game. Bleeding nipples are kind of a pain, but how will deregulation help with that?
It's all about the tax issue, hustler. No other problem in the world is as pressing as top marginal tax rates. And don't you fucking forget it.
I won't, savoir faire. What was that? What in the name of God was that? I feel like I just got...
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10.
Indirect modes of taxation. First, if you have a side bitch ideology cooking somewhere, don't sweat it. Side bitch ideology! Fighting indirect taxation for Gossamer state is compatible with all creeds. It's cool like that. You're a cool anarchist now. Unless you don't want to be an anarchist, whatever. Stuff this meal ticket in your eye sockets and let's see if we can steal some love back from the robber barons and the customer at the customs agency and the banditos, that's the insolenti and financial oversight and the competition committee. This game is doing so much for me.
Excuse me? Of course not.
You have plenty of reason to enter.
Then open the door so I can verify your identity.
Oh, come on.
That was smart.
A blister pack of medicine peeks out from the box. You should take it. Looks like a fine mattress.
Satisfied? My name is
Jesus
Muriel
Christ, that
Charpentier, and I'm
smile!
an agent with Martinez Realty Associates. I am not breaking in, as I have every right to be here. The keys, see?
Lady, Tone, your smile's at like a 40. I'm gonna need a 40 out of 10, and I'm gonna need you at like a 7.
Boy, there are a lot of different keys there. More than 20 at least. Her voice is really cheerful, despite her obviously hating you.
Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't legally ask for it, but why not? Want to see my residence permit too?
Inspect the passport.
It feels flimsy in hand, with the words Revachol Zone of Control written under a nondescript municipal logo. There's a picture of her with shorter hair inside, along with all her personal details.
Everything seems to be in order.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? I need to be back in Midtown in an hour.
Who lived in the foreclosed apartment down the hall?
Oh, that's another huge mess. The former tenant owes us 3 months of rent. 3. We closed the apartment
Clenched
and
teeth
planned on
smile,
auctioning off the
goddamn.
valuables, but... And again, I have no idea how stupid mistakes like this can even happen. But Ron, when he came to close the door, didn't close the neighboring door. And there's a hole in the wall. A hole in the wall. Can you believe it? And then the tenant ran off with his stuff. He's gone. The money's gone. Just like that.
Snaps her fingers.
The sum must have been puny.
My money has also disappeared, I think. It couldn't have been that much money. These apartments look pretty shabby.
These apartments are perfectly fine. They have gorgeous architecture, a million real view of the bay, good ventilation, neighbors, life, spark, and they are affordable.
I'm reminded a lot of the Joker gas from the Tim Burton Batman movie.
I'll tell you, Martinez has a future. In a few years, it's going to blossom with artists and creatives and those radio computer wizards.
Kim, input.
It's as if they're real wizards, able to resurrect dead real estate and breathe life into bank accounts.
It won't. My money has also disappeared, I think.
Well, it does not disappear from my hands. No, I don't let it.
So wait, what happened with the wall?
Don't ask me what happened with the wall. I have no idea how we're going to find the time or resources to fix it. Both apartments are now unrentable. Both.
What are you doing here?
I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place.
Who lived here?
It was some kind of a moribund old man who used to be a business owner. You'd think they'd make rent.
A sudden serious look crosses her face. This story didn't have a happy ending.
But that was months ago. Anyway, was there anything you wanted, or is that it? I'm in a hurry. I need to get... It was some kind of a moribund old man.
A sudden...
But
Okay.
that was... Of course.
Okay, well, at the very least, we got some stuff there. Ooh. Indirect modus text. I'm sorry, did it say that those give me a boost to indirect modes of Wait. A boost to this? Well, I mean, it takes away from my empathy, and I actually like my empathy, so... I like my empathy the way it is. I'm gonna keep it like that. Holy fuck, I wasn't expecting shoes to be able to boost a feat. That is weird. Alright, well, let's go talk to Cindy again. And nothing else I can see is interactable. If you hear me make a odd noise, I'm trying to crack my neck. I've had a stiff neck all week.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Is that bed in the coal room yours?
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
Don't you have a real home?
Does anyone in a city like this?
It's not the nicest place, but I guess it'll have to do.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
The inspiration will come to her once hell is set loose on the streets. It's too calm right now.
Ah, so she's just waiting for an opportunity to have her shit not be in the compressor.
Shoot, piggy.
Alright, I opened the boiler room thing here. So... Is there anything else interactable? No, there isn't. Alright. What was the check that I needed to get my coat back? Was it physical instrument or was it endurance? I can't remember. It was... trash container... Warden door, bird's nest Roy, pain threshold, measure head, sleeping dock worker. Alright, well it doesn't look like I can check that. Alright. Alright, it is currently noon in the game. Wow, time moves quickly. Alright. And nothing in the balcony here because it's gonna be just heading back to that dude's apartment at 9. And I can't unlock that door. So, yeah, nothing else to really do there.
Yes?
Shit, didn't mean to do that. Meant to click the door, not Kim. Now then. Next step should be... I wonder if I can... I can't unlock that. Nothing else important. And how's my stats looking? Whoops. I only have 9 more experience until I level up again, so that'll be nice. But at this point, there isn't really a whole lot else I can do. But yeah, I didn't think those shoes would actually increase a feat. That's really, really strange. Because normally feats are like a set bonus or debuff, so to speak. Can I talk to them again, see if anything new comes up? René and Gaston?
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabinier do for you?
Nothing there. What about Gaston?
Officer, the mere sight of police in Martinez makes me feel safer already. How sure, officer?
Let's give out the Union. Okay, got nothing.
No.
Can't ask him for a bite of his sandwich. I don't want to ask him for a bite of his sandwich. Probably wouldn't be my kind of sandwich.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Underprivileged. Oh, that's right. I can't ask him. I don't want to ask him for money. Okay, so that's Silang. Bunch of sunglasses. And Roy won't take any clothing, and I have nothing else besides Kim's handkerchief. But I don't want to give him Kim's handkerchief because Kim's cool, and that would be disrespectful. The only real things I can do to essentially boost up my chances of getting through the story a bit more are get something for Kuno and try to knock out Measurehead, but I don't think knocking out Measurehead is going to happen. If I can just find a couple of bottles or stray cans or something that I can recycle. I can't click over there, nothing there. Alright, yeah, nothing new. Yeah, got nothing. Alright, let's put away the bag, and then see if I can... 90. I can try and talk to the lady upstairs to see if she's got anything new to say since she's smoking on the roof. Hell, I could ask her for some smokes to get to Kuno, which is... it's so weird that I have to make these kind of statements out loud, but that's the game, I guess. Alright, got nothing new to say to Titus, got nothing new for Lawyer Lady. I don't know how to unlock that door, so I'm gonna have to save that for another time.
The door is closed. This door can only be opened with a key. Still no answer. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. He doesn't like where this is going.
Fair enough. I don't like where that's going either. That just leads to the balcony and nothing's new there. Like, really? Not even the pry bar will help with that door? Wonder how you unlock it. Can Kim actually help with the expression?
Mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face.
No, still can't help. Alright. So it doesn't look like I can talk to that girl on the roof yet. Maybe open this, see if I can get that.
You see, the door does not.
Door doesn't budge. Did having the pry bar actually help with this, or no?
You see, the door.
Nope. Can I talk to him again, or... Because this guy doesn't speak the language.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod.
Do you know what's behind
acknowledging your presence.
Do you know what's behind the blue door?
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
You've got some impressive pots there.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
Kind of odd that he can understand me, yet he doesn't, he doesn't speak the language. Weird. At least I find it kind of odd. Can I grab that bottle, or is that bottle still partially full of rum? No, didn't think I could. Wouldn't make sense to be able to recycle stuff that's just there. Now then. I guess I can attempt to fight Measurehead again, but I don't... Let's try and do that one to get my coat jacket. I think that's important. I think that one's a bit better. Wait, that's the wrong way. I meant to... God damn it. I keep going the wrong direction with that. Ah. Let's see. This is to increase interfacing. And these were electrochemistry. That's reaction speed -1 to rhetoric. I think I'm okay now for that. Alright, let's try to get across there this time. Yeah, I can't converse with her until I get up on the roof, and I do not know how to get up there. Alright. Let's see if we can hop the thing. Or if there's anything new in Kuno's little shack, I guess. Nope, nothing. All right. Check for things that are interactable. Nothing.
A tarpaulin cloak is still
Savoir-faire. Okay.
No one has claimed it for their own.
Okay, savoir-faire is the one that I need. In that case, was there anything that boosted? Oh, that's a minus. In that case, let's replace those shoes. -1, interfacing, suggestion. Okay. Well, at the very least, I don't have a minus check.
The luxury of fine things. Just look at those black monk strips. After spending an entire day hustling, who's to say that you didn't deserve a pair of ridiculously expensive shoes on your tired feet.
Oops, it's a passenger faux pas.
Let's hope no one saw you wearing these outrageously expensive and ultra-liberal
Fucking ultra. Yes, that is a word to describe shoes. Ultra-liberal.
A tarpaulin cloak
Fucking
is
hell.
still caught on the...
Alright. Yeah, nothing... Still can't do that because it's a savoir-faire check, and I don't have a skill point in that yet. I think that's what I'll have to put a point in next time. And nothing this way. Alright. I could try talking to Kuno again, see if he's got any new insights now that I've actually checked the body. Alright, let's talk to Kuno again, see if he's got anything new.
Have you come to make your offering to Kuno?
I don't have anything. What can I offer to you, Kuno?
Please don't waste time.
The lieutenant does not...
Don't listen to the blind fuck, piggo. You can pay tribute to Kuno with drugs, or cigarettes, or some wheels. Kuno could use some wheels. Motorized carriage shit.
Alright, so, yeah, nothing there. And I think it was like $2.40 for a pack of cigarettes, so I don't think selling Kim's handkerchief could even do a little bit of that.
Stuck in the rain in a traffic. Nope. Some of the other drivers.
Yup, nothing wrong with it.
You could also check the key.
Yeah, I got nothing new there. I don't have anything to sell. Nothing on this. Nothing else that I can really do. I only have one real, so I can't even stay another night at the Whirling. I'm trying to think on what to do next. What was the one for fighting Measurehead? Physical instrument? And it was electrochemistry that those... yeah. Physical instrument. Which one was this? Conceptualization. Try it again.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Why are you not with the Hardy Boys?
I am not the first line of defense. I am the last. In addition, these so-called Hardy Boys are an effeminate clique of bodybuilders. Their company is spiritually degrading.
But you're all part of the Union.
The Hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the Union alone. And I do this out of race heroism.
Oh!
Finance is an alien concept to the Simonies.
Oh my god, did he act?
Now leave me be. I must luxuriate in the company of my woman.
Hey, I can do it! I knocked him!
Just like that, instinct took over. A solid strike
did it!
straight into his throat, into the cartilage. You could swear you felt the soft palate break. The man is reeling, gasping for air.
I did it!
Time stands still around you. In the distance, the sounds of the harbor are falling silent. All you hear is a small gurgling sound as a trickle of blood appears on the man's lip.
Wait, what should I do?
Don't wait. You've only got a millisecond. He's coming to. Time is breaking loose from the stupor. His left hand curls up into a fist. That fighting pose. Watch out. He's expecting the hook.
Back up and perform a 360 flying spinning kick. Oh my god!
The man lands.
Nice!
Dull thump, like a broken down puppet of muscles and sinew. For a moment, he still tries to keep his head up, dazed eyes looking at you with unimaginable surprise. To your left.
Fucking get clocked! Oh god, what would be good to say? Welcome to Revachol. Welcome to Revachol.
As you slam your fist on the button, the man collapses entirely, his head rolling to the side.
Looks like you're the new measurehead now.
Her voice is surprisingly calm.
No one is the new measurehead. Let's go before he gets up.
Fucking hell, I did it! I knocked out Measurehead! Hell yeah, and I did it cool. Alright, that was the one time where a physique thing actually let me do a cool thing and that I agreed with. Do you have anything to say now that I knocked out Measurehead?
Knocked him out good. Like the Flying Desperado.
Who or what is the Flying Desperado?
It's that really cool Flying Desperado spin kick you did, Boyadero. Often performed by the most hard-bodied boyaderos on the steps.
Yeah, I sure did that thing.
So, what's on your mind this time?
Good talking to you. Gotta run. Alright, do you have anything new to say that I knocked him out? Like a badass?
Went native on the chief, huh? Those ballerina antics were reckless. Should have just punched him in the throat again.
Wrong. You did the right thing with Measurehead. The ballerina antics won you the fight.
Let's talk about our right to work.
I'm just gonna leave. Holy fuck, I did it! I knocked him out! Hell yeah! It says GRAH. Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor. Is the thing not opening? What? Can I not get into the harbor now? Or is that... Oh wait, oh, that unlocked this. Oh, I thought it unlocked the big gate. Never mind. Well, now I can get into the harbor. Alright, what is... Ooh, all sorts of new things. What's this? Every worker equals member of the board is written on the top of the flyers. And the bottom of the union logo and the demand for democracy. It's a Dewey typewriter. The model name is on the back. Someone left the coffee machine on. The dark liquid in the pot almost looks sentient. A standard office file cabinet. The drawers seem to be locked. The door is locked and cannot be opened from this side without a pass card. Guess you have no choice but to talk to the union leader. What is over here? It is a postcard. Oh, it's $4. Sweet! Ooh, visual calculus -1 drama. And magnesium. This place is a treasure trove.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks.
Open the drawer.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders.
Browse through the folders.
Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol, Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Anything interesting?
It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
Volition. Do I have anything for Volition? Didn't I have something for Volition? Oh, I leveled up. What do I feel like boosting? What's something that's been common that I could do on a recheck? Sleeping dock worker. Volition, authority, perception. Kind of a mixture, not really anything that I can super get.
The drawer slide.
I have something that I can add to... I know I have clothing I can add to Volition, I think. Right? Which one was it? Esprit de Corps, Savoir-Faire. Nope, nope, nope. I must be already wearing it. Suggestion, physical instrument. I can take this off now. I don't need this shirt anymore. I guess I can't. Maybe I should add it to Volition, because I already need one for Joyce. It is pretty low, so... yeah, let's do it. Alright, let's try this again.
Stand steady as ever. And whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer.
Look at the note.
It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants, sweep office floor, more banners. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Look, Kim, a to-do note with the list of errands for Everart.
Everard Clare, probably. The head of the Debarders Union. One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list.
Take another look at the note.
Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants,
special
sweep
whirling
office
borscht.
floor.
Order something
more
at the whirling
banners.
rag.
All items on the list. The drawer slides.
Order a borscht at the whirling rags. Use interact button for the book. I'll check that later. And this? The radio's emitting strange buzzing sounds.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change.
I could call the lady.
The machine swallows your coin and seems to be waiting for your next move. It's unclear whether you actually have muscle memory. Right now, your finger is just drawing vaguely occult patterns in the air.
Useful patterns?
Undoubtedly, no.
I might try this again later.
Why not? Muscle memory is a tricky thing. Nothing tricky about that. You just do, fail, repeat, until it works. All it takes is motivation and practice.
Okay. Well, now I have a phone that I can use to call the lady's house sitter, so now I can take care of that. And I can now get my coat.
The tarpaulin cloak is still hanging on the railing. The white rectangle of the Revachol Citizens Militia is clearly visible on its back.
Grab the cloak.
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, It almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver a message of comfort through your fingertips. I will shield you from the elements and give my life for yours. That's what the cloak is relaying.
Cool. So now I have my +1 to shivers. It's pretty rad looking. It's a pretty cool looking cloak. That's a pretty cool looking coat. No front. That's actually pretty cool looking. Let's see, this is -1 to authority, +1 to logic, and this was +1 to visual calculus, -1 to drama. My visual calculus is already pretty good. I think I'm gonna be fine with that. And I have a new thing to read. Alright, what is over here? Collecting rainwater. A gold mine of bottles to recycle! At least 3 packs worth of cigarette butts. Numerous empty bottles of Commodore Red and Poston Pilsner?
Numerous empty wine bottles glisten in the rain. Someone partied really, really hard here.
Wait, how hard?
Well, they went through 6 bottles of potent Pilsner, 3 bottles of Commodore Red, and almost 4 packs of cigarettes. It must have been pretty hard.
Did I do this?
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you.
This is really sad. I must have been miserable.
Yes, this scene isn't exactly ripping with joy. Let's just move on.
God damn. Well, time to recycle these bottles. And the gloves are good for interfacing, so I'm gonna keep them on. Yes, yes. Give me all them things. Alright, what's in here?
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud.
So this is where Renee works.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot over here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table.
Leave the picture alone.
The entire neighborhood can see us up here.
Yeah, leave that picture be. I don't want to steal Renee's stuff. He's just an old soldier. What's this? All around you, great machines and quisits? What is that word? White pine trees are printed onto the screen covering. Looks like a forest under snow. What is this? Ooh! More money. You see faded industrial lettering on the platform. Kvaslund. Kvalsund? Is that what that said? I don't know. It was hard to read. Shipyard ahead is oddly quiet. The great machines are sleeping. Well, yeah, they're on strike. It makes sense. Ooh, getting a lot of money. The speaker tower is silent. There's no work to organize in the yard below. The musk of oil and rust comes from the chasm in front of you. It smells like blood. I'm not wearing shoes. Wait, am I? Oh, I threw away the big hustler shoes. Oh. I didn't even realize that. Ultra Series gloves. Ooh, cool. So, +1 to half-light. I don't need half-light right now. God, just real after real. Industrial-sized thermos. Smells like burnt coffee. Yoink.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
The lyrics to this container song are being made up as he goes along. The accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisund on Muindi.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard.
I think that's... I'll leave him to his song. I don't want to interrupt him. He's having a good time. Coffee in the giant thermos is still lukewarm. A stair made of pallets leading up. Is that Everard? Wait, is that Everard? Swordfish. A taxidermy fish that tells time.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you.
Are his eyes... Is he cross-eyed? I guess he's cross-eyed. Let's get straight to business. There's a dead body in a tree.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's
Dubois.
good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat.
He gestures to a tiny chair opposite of his giant desk.
I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez.
The man relaxes into his chair and continues.
I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Why are you calling me Mr. Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
God, he's like a combination of the Penguin and Fat Bastard.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out.
Do I take the seat or... I don't sit. It's kind of my thing. Or take a seat. Oh, I should have turned on Twitch integration for this. Nah. It is what it is. Feels like a threat. Lieutenant's got my back.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
Remain serious.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
The chair you're sitting on has got to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world. It's violating your backside.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense.
He points to a giant lovely check on his desk. It's absolutely comically huge.
It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Wait, you know Gart?
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
Keep it. I'm good.
Okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts then.
I say, as somebody who took money from Joyce.
Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only 2 words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
How do you know about my lost gun?
I know everything, Harry. Right now,
Harry
I
Dubois,
know that you're
so that's
worried.
his name.
Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded.
Kim? Kim?
Officer, we will deal with this later. We don't need Mr. Clare's help with this.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
The chair's killing you. I don't have a point to put in. Fuck.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot themselves with it.
No, I'm not about to cry.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull here? You need to cool the fuck down. Chill.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry!
Keep sliding down the chair like there are no Harrys. Let your mind go to your safe place.
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water or something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
Nah, I'm as good as it gets, Mr. Dubois.
Don't be dramatic. I can see your condition isn't terminal.
God, that must be a really uncomfortable chair.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer questions. It is about time to stop embarrassing yourself. Questions will help you regain some of your lost dignity.
Aren't you going to ask me how I got in?
Am I going to ask? Hell, Harry. You spin-kicked my strongest man in the face. I saw it from my window. Would you ask a man like that how he got into your container yard?
I don't even know how I was able to... I don't even know how I was able to do that.
Don't worry, Harry. Between you and me, I'm not a huge fan of his race thing. But the Union did not get where we are today by frowning on eccentricity. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
You called me Mr. Dubois. Why?
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everett, I call you Harry.
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
So that's really my name?
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
It's true, my memory is a bit hazy.
I assure you, there's nothing to be ashamed of, Harry. You're among friends, and the good news is...
He taps the folder in front of him.
I have a big fat folder on you, Harry. I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask. Maybe I can help you out. I'm sure you had some concerns you thought I might be able to address. And you are probably right. I can.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost
Wow.
identity right now.
You do not dismiss Kim.
Asking too many questions will make you look weak. You should maybe focus on the folder. Don't just jump to the folder. That's not smart. Shows you're on the edge. Do some probing first.
Let's get this straight. What's my full name?
It's Harry. Harry Dubois.
You feel like a Dubois, but you don't feel like a Harry. Strange. You don't feel like any of these things. You know what your name is. You have a sophisticated name, like that of a count, or a beautiful man.
I feel like a Dubois, but not quite a Harry. Something longer.
Sure, okay. You're Harold. Harmon. Haroldamus? But that's not what the record says. The record says Harry Dubois, a real man's name. Mr. Kitsuragi doesn't seem even slightly empathetic to your memory loss, Harry. I, however, wish to help you any way I can.
Do you know anything about my family? Do I have a wife or kids, or...
Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man. Do you strike yourself as a family man, Harry?
I don't think a family man drinks himself into oblivion. Never mind the family.
Family, Harry, is the most important thing in the world.
Do you know where I live?
But of course, Harry. Your precinct is the 41st and you live in Jamrock. You're a Jamrock boy. A long way from home, but that's okay.
Where did you get that folder?
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
I find that very suspicious. May I have a look?
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand.
So the Union trusts
Please continue,
Harry.
As you look at the folder, Everard covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just
Okay.
another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
That's not an RCM folder.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man. So is there anything else I can do for you, Harry?
That means he doesn't really know anything about you.
He just has a file that has stuff on me. He doesn't know me personally.
A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry Dubois.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on.
I met Joyce, the company representative.
Oh, that's very nice. I haven't gotten around to her yet. I'm very, very busy, you see. I hope you're getting along. One thing I want to make very clear, Harry, is that this is not some kind of union versus corporation situation. Everyone is just pals here.
Yeah, the corpse behind the hostel really says pals.
Yes, we're all trying to do what's best for Martinez. Don't feel like you shouldn't work with her just because you and I are such good friends. I'm not a jealous guy.
What happened to the previous negotiator, Mr. Gaumont? Joyce said the previous union leader vanished under suspicious circumstances.
Vanished? Harry, the woman left her casserole in the oven and couldn't make it here in time for the voting. Oh, did I leave my casserole on? Better go home and check. The election can wait. When she got back, the whole thing was over.
Wait, there was no mention of a casserole from Joyce.
Funny, Joyce didn't mention any casserole.
Harry. Do not fixate on this little matter. Maybe it was a rabbit stew, or a hairdryer, or an iron. The point is, her heart wasn't in it. Mine was.
That's not a very endearing statement, man.
That much is true. His heart truly is in it. Though you wouldn't think so by looking at him.
No, you wouldn't.
If it's spilled blood you're looking for, then there certainly isn't any in his expression or demeanor now.
What happened to the previous negotiator?
What do you mean, Harry? Nothing. I let him go.
He made concessions for the company in previous negotiations. Why would you let an ally like that go?
He's an old man, Harry. I wanted him to spend more time with his family. God knows how long we've got left.
You called him a midget!
Harry, I have little people in my organization. I would never call someone a midget. What is this? Honestly, I'm beginning to think you're a midget, Harry. I'm only kidding, Harry. You're not a midget. No one is. We're pals.
Why haven't you let her in to see you?
If she actually wants to see me, she will find a way. Any good negotiator would. And
I had to fucking roundhouse kick fucking Measurehead to get in.
He doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
I had to roundhouse kick Measurehead to get in here, jackass.
Of course, Harry. Let me just assure you one more time. It's perfectly okay to share anything we discuss here with this Joyce. This is a completely transparent organization.
Says the guy that's got a weird-ass fucking note.
I have no interest in what she is doing, but I myself have nothing to hide. Your business is your business, and I respect your privacy. Just remember, none of this is secret. Tell her about all of it. My brother's picture, my singing swordfish clock. Tell her how overweight I am and how I'm helping you find your lost gun. Tell her about everything. Everett doesn't mind.
It is rather interesting to tell people things about each other, isn't it? It was nice telling him about her right now.
Let's talk about my lost gun.
Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rhetoric. He might be holding that hostage for me. Hold on, could he really be holding my gun hostage?
Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back. And working with him might be the only way to do it.
Wait, the gun may have been bought from Roy's pawn shop. Have your men factored that in?
Yes. Thank you for the hot tip regarding your lost gun, Harry. My men have indeed factored in that you pawned it. Now please, let the professionals do their job. Kick back, Harry, relax. I have great guys on this. You focus on what's important. Building our relationship for the good of Martinez.
It did not come as a surprise to him. He might actually not be bullshitting.
Does this mean if I do things for you, I will get my gun back?
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means. I'm only kidding, of course.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
I want to talk about the hanging.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to help, like I'm helping you with your lost gun. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me.
Investigate the apartment of the number 10 for the cleaning lady. Report back to the cleaning lady. Oh, I can report back to her about the... Oh, I didn't think about that. Okay. Okay. I didn't know I could go back and talk to her. I'm sensing there's a but.
But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors.
Is that... Kim, is that true? Are we door-opening machines?
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen.
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it.
Does this jiggling ooze think he's going to use you? He's got another thing coming. Play his game, son, with your eyes peeled. He's going to slip up, and when he does, you're going to come out on top.
Why don't you just open it yourself?
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do.
That is
You
true.
look like
He
you
couldn't
would run
roundhouse
around
kick
all
Measurehead.
day.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry?
Whose store is it?
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about.
It's gonna be the smoker guy. What do you mean by a weasel?
A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly. Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
gonna be
want
the
this to
smoking guy, I
over
think.
So I can discuss business with you.
I bet you don't even know anything about the hanging.
Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez.
I can't accept this thing.
Of course, Harry, I understand. But if that's the case, I don't think we'll ever find your gun. Perhaps this was just bad timing for you. Know that you can always come back to me. I really hope you do. For your sake, my sake, and for your gun's sake too.
Yes, we both understand what you meant.
This may be the only way, he thinks. I won't hold it against you. In fact, we probably should reconsider later.
Could you help me get a dead body down from a tree?
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
Also, I studied the footprints at the crime scene. Worker boots.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values.
He licks his fat lips and smiles.
But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, the cop who bested you in physical combat is here, and he has a little dead body in a tree problem. Namely, he needs it to be taken down. Please extend him this courtesy. You can find Luke down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you, now that he's back on his feet.
I'm told the Union is involved in a local drug trade.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any Johnny Fat Guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this?
I am.
You've hurt me, Harry. Me, a friend. But you know what? I trust you, like I trust all my friends. And I know you'll never talk to me about this again, because you don't want to wound me. So do what you want, and let's change the subject.
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue to do what we must.
You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you, but you never were my favorite. I'm a Harry guy. I'm Team Harry.
None taken. Did we have anything else to do here, Harry?
Efrat, I'm going to leave now, but we might talk again later.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate.
Thanks. I was wondering how I was supposed to get out.
Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.
Wow. What a conversation. So I literally took moral damage from how uncomfortable the chair was. Like I legitimately was taking damage because the chair was riding up my ass. But hey, I managed to knock out Measurehead, so it's all good. Everything is very good. Alright. Wonder how Kim would have thought that conversation went. I thought it went pretty nice, if I do say so myself. Got a lot of bottles I can recycle, and now I've got a lot of Real I can use. And I opted to not go for the money. You know, don't want to be scabbing too much.
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marche and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block. Marsh. On. Arrête. Off.
I don't know what those do. I'm not gonna operate any kind of heavy machinery. But yeah, I guess I can go ahead and get the body down now, because Measurehead is 2 meters tall, and yeah, I knocked out a 2 meter tall giant. I got to roundhouse kick a racist. I feel great. That was fantastic. I got to roundhouse kick a racist.
The file cabinet stands steady. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes. All items on the drawer slide.
Okay. Well, I think now I can go ahead and get the body down. Although first, I actually want to go recycle all these bottles I got. But yeah, that was something. I'm very... like, that was a nice little sequence of events, having to roundhouse kick Measurehead and talk to Everart like that. And now we know our name. Harry Dubois.
The tear machine stand. Your bottles clunk.
Not a huge amount of real, but any amount of money is good money. Alright, let's go get to Measurehead, get the body down, and I think I'll end the stream after that.
Do not presume this has drastically altered our race dynamic.
It was just something I knocked you out like a god of martial arts.
True. I said nothing about our personal dynamic. That has altered. A little.
Everart told me you told you to help us get the body down from the tree.
So it was. You bested me in race combat to reach my superior. Then had him give me an order. I salute your cunning, enemy. I will go and remove the body from the tree with my bare hands.
This man is the fucking
You're so noble, Measurehead.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
Lieutenant, what if we don't want to do that?
This is the comfortable result of not taking it down ourselves. I can live with a compromise.
Listen to your little friend. He is
Oh
wise
my God.
in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup.
Fucking shut up! Get your head out of your ass, dude! I roundhouse kicked your head into the fucking ground! Okay, then wait here for Measurehead.
See that they stay here the whole time.
Holy shit, this game, man. This fucking character... Also, isn't he cold? He's just shirtless.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
So, you guys are like cops or something?
Why are you with Measurehead?
Look at him. His craniometric perfection. Are you cops or what?
We're just trying to keep things from going to shit.
Have you ever thought that maybe things should go to shit? I'm Katya, by the way.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking something.
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
I don't. I've seen enough of that dead body already.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Everott's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
I work with whoever I want.
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno. Then the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
I mean, he is a brick shithouse, that's for certain.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today.
There's been no side choosing. We did what we had to do to keep order.
And what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
Kind of weird. Like, I didn't expect that Katya girl to just suddenly talk to have, like, large words to say. She struck me as a woo girl Starbucks enthusiast. A valley girl, basically.
Right to work!
Okay, he doesn't have anything new to say. Really, though? Nothing new to say after I just stood guard for Measurehead? Alright, well, let's go check on the tree. See what Measurehead accomplished. I'm gonna think he tore down the tree. Or at least tore down the branch. What the hell did he do? Because I could hear that breaking. Yep, he broke the full branch.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Well, it's down.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy.
Field autopsy?
Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body.
Oh, fantastic! I get a much more in-depth look at the body.
The RCM's 4-phase murder scene processing manual.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up.
Do we have someone else for this? A doctor?
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain. From autopsy to cleanup, to social work, everything.
So now I have a field autopsy thing to look at, and I've leveled up. What were some ones that I could do again? I think it was conceptualization for the wall, right? Rhetoric, punch clock payphone. It's interfacing, backyard wall. Yeah, I think I might have to put a stat into electrochemistry just to get the fucking... Actually, wait, don't I have... I have a pair of gloves that could help with electrochemistry. I really don't want to put too much in electrochemistry. Oh wait, I can unlock a new thing. -2 to half-light, -2 to visual calculus. I kind of want to try the 5th Indo tribe. Or the 15th Indo tribe. You got 16 minutes left of wholesome long way home. Wait, honorary rank detective?
An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able. Usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is lieutenant detective.
Yes, I feel like a detective.
You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now...
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
What you do know is, At 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Et puis descend, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
Why don't you know? What use are you?
You must have me confused with the Copperpedia.
Who's the Copperpedia? I think I need to talk to him.
You, sir. You are the Copperpedia.
I love it. I'm having a argument with the encyclopedia section of my brain. Let's get in there.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
I don't know. What do you mean?
I mean when I need you to. Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should take notes.
We just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your ledger.
That's right.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first.
Let's pause this.
It begins with...
Let's pause this autopsy.
Let's.
The corpse does not object. He lies slumped to the side.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Come back later, Corporal.
Okay, so I can't do anything there.
Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features.
The dead man stared. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first.
That's you.
Right. Harry
The
Dubois.
corpse is indifferent to your scribblings. Just lies there. The next box says...
Coroner's case number.
KK57-0803.0815.
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date 0803 and time of arrival 0815 on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you.
Shouldn't we file the coroner's case under me? Technically, I arrived at the scene before you.
And what would that make the alphanumeric?
I have no idea.
I do. KK57-0503.
That is fair. He does not...
0815.
He likely does not have any memory of that. Write it down.
Next.
Name.
NA. Next.
Date of birth.
NA.
Age.
Roughly 50.
Dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side.
I'm gonna write 42.
He nods.
Race?
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mundi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish.
Write it down.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Sex?
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex?
Right male.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
Evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
A strange word. Treatment.
What exactly is treatment?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
Don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure.
I'm not so sure. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried over?
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dog walkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
Wow. This game's really poetic and funny at the same time. It's so weird. It's really interesting.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
1. External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
So, I would have... Yeah, if I did try to pull the boots off, I would have pulled the whole body down, and not the way Measurehead did.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
Write it down.
The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Write it down.
Well nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age 42. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing.
Write it down.
Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with the age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Touch the corpse's hair before moving on.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet.
Stroke his hair gently.
The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to the latex of the glove, like thread off a rag doll's head. There must be brilliantine in there. He's combed his hair back with oil.
Keep petting him.
More hair sticks to the glove. Hair off the rain-soaked head of a dead man. There are bumps and dips on the skull below. An alien landscape. There, dead man. You were someone's child. It's all over now.
Write it down, adding the brilliantine.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation.
Write it down. Fuck you, Kuno.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife with the other hand pulling on the belt. He starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
I'm not your pig, Kuno.
You are? You're Kuno's pig?
Concentrate on the belt, not on who is whose pig. There is no pig. There are only the chain cutters and the belt.
Look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there. Steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose.
Look at that.
After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow.
Press down.
Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
The lieutenant has kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there's a gap.
As it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
Write it down.
Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
He pulled down the man's underpants.
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Write it down and move on.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
This scarring is extensive, way more than the law officials.
Mm-hmm. We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars.
Write it down.
Last item. Hands.
Pick up the hand.
His flesh is cold. Icy.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name?
My name is...
I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Corbo. What can I do you for, Il Corbo de Cappadocia?
It's good to hold your hand. Did you like it when I stroked your hair?
I did, Kobo. I did. Reminded me of when I was just a small boy, before this happened to my face and my body. You did me a kindness there. We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment.
Write it down.
Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
If I may add the moral of this story...
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
The brain is very vulnerable to compromises in its blood supply.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer.
All right, N.A.
Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
Write it down.
Respiratory system.
Back hunched, as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid, ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands.
Look inside the dead man's mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his.
Look deeper inside.
It's hard. Once more, you taste stomach acid in the back of your throat.
I'm gonna throw up.
A contraction. Your throat pumps a little something from your stomach and into your mouth. You're forced to swallow, just to keep looking. Inside, you see darkness. Just a mess of meat and darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
Write it down.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Why? Don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. I don't think so.
Neither am I.
And that's it?
That's it.
Right, NA.
Same for toxicology and serology.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do.
Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
Write NA and add toxicology request.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging.
Write it down.
Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around on the ground, the pool of feces there?
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen, briefly. Omit the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of injuries.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Bite marks?
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And
write it down.
Your opinion, officer?
Postmortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Constitutions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a
contusions.
post-mortem head injury. A stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Write it down.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal. Postmortem.
Right. Next.
Ligature mark. What's the fourth injury field for?
Nothing. Just in case. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
Fatal injury.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First, how'd it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
What now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
Rip out a copy of the autopsy pages.
For processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of a red paper in his hands, then the corpse again.
He's thinking, did I miss something? You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Fuck.
Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you have now.
Learning cap of perception raised to 5. Do I have anything that can give more perception? Reaction speed, electrochemistry, savoir-faire is a minus. Doesn't look like it.
The man is The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. You run
Didn't
your
think
hands
so.
over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough.
Look under his fingernails.
His fingernails have turned dark. They're chipped and quite long. There is dirt under them. That's all.
Do you think we missed something?
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you.
There's something we're not seeing.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination. And we need to do it fast.
Can't he just hang out here for a while?
If you want for this task to slowly become impossible, then yes.
Fridge.
It would have to be industrial in size. Let's start by asking Gart at the Whirling in Rags and the Fritz store down at the gates. If they don't know, but only if all else fails.
Fuck are you looking at, Beano man? You want a piece of the Kuno? Wanna get fucked?
Only if all else fails.
I need another look at the body.
Hurry. This is one task we cannot sideline. With every hour, whatever we are looking for will become harder to find.
Alright. Well, I think with that, sobering bit of, stuff, I have no other way to describe it. With that sobering thing happening, I think that's a good enough spot to end the video. Or the stream, sorry. Yeah. Hopefully you all enjoyed yourselves. Lord, despite a lot of the realness that's happening, I am enjoying the hell out of this game. I really, really, honest to God, am. And I want to keep playing it. This is a very addictive game. So, look forward to more streams of this in the future. So, with that said, I hope all of you have a great rest of your day, or whenever you're seeing this. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.